before.
I've never heard that. But
Drink enough to have hangovers anymore.
No, me either. So yesterday,
Working on YouTube, by the way, and I
Well,
think
we
I
kinda
have
figured
it.
that.
I think I have it.
or Harvard. So yesterday, Dog the bounty hunter was hospitalized over a heart emergency. They think he possibly could have had a heart attack. Dog, whose real name is Dwayne Chapman, was taken to a hospital in Colorado when he complained of chest pains. According to an unnamed source, the 66-year-old is fine, but remains hospitalized as doctors are doing tests to find out what exactly happened and whether he will need surgery.
Well,
So-
it's been really hard on him.
oh yeah, him losing his wife Beth, and if you watched any of the shows,
Or he's been interviewed on, and yeah.
it or even they had a special. I can't remember what station it came on, but I actually watched it and recorded, and it was Dog and Beth, the fight of their life, or something like.
It's like her last.
Well,
last
it was the first episode of the cancer that she had when she had to go in and have the surgery on her neck, because it was when she was first diagnosed, and they did a documentary of it. And I mean, he was tore up in that. So yeah,
Well, I mean,
he
she took
really-
care of everything.
Oh yeah, she sure did.
Not just the business, but the house and him.
The
and,
kids.
Yep.
Yeah, because she's going in for surgery, and this.
Crystal takes care of me.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like Crystal takes care of Scotty.
in the documentary, she's fixing to go have the surgery to remove the tumor in her throat and everything. Well, 2 days before she's going into the hospital, she's at home making food for Dog to eat and putting it in different bowls and telling him, this is what's in this bowl, this is what's in this bowl, you better eat it. If I find out you haven't ate it, I'm going to be really pissed off at you. And so, I mean, that's how much she took care. And she said, they were asking her, why are you doing this? I mean, the day she's going in to have the surgery, she's still making sure that he's taken care of and the food. And she flat said, because if I don't make it, he's not going to eat it. Mm-hmm. So, and she was more concerned with someone to be there to take care of him
Than about herself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that her and Shannon Tweed were really close friends.
Yeah.
And she was in the documentary with them, and she actually went to several doctor's appointments with Beth.
That's the way I am with Bill. Like when I knew I had to stay at Mama's for a couple of weeks, I went and loaded up the freezer, made up a couple of meals, went ahead and made up a bunch of breakfast wraps. Because all you had to do was get up in the morning and take it and put it in the refrigerator. I mean, in the microwave and heat it up.
Yeah.
And then I would come home every 2-3 days for a couple hours, make sure everything was good, make sure he had clean clothes, and just you do that. Because I get up every day and make his lunch. I have for 20. That's how it first started. Was when I first started making his lunch, he was eating out for breakfast and lunch every day. And breakfast and lunch every day it very easily $15 to $20 every day. Well, money was getting really tight, and we had just bought the house, and so I started packing his lunch.
Yeah.
And then that way I knew he was eating, because then there were times that he would get busy, and if he didn't have time to stop and go somewhere to get lunch, he wasn't eating.
That's Travis.
So,
Or if he gets too hot, he won't eat.
Yep.
And then when he comes home, he'll say, I got too hot, I can't eat. And it's 8, 9 o'clock, and he still hasn't ate. And I tell him, you need to eat something. You need something on your stomach besides a liquid pork chop.
Yeah.
You need something.
So yes, I mean, and it's not a big deal because that way I know he's saving money and he's eating.
Well, that's why we keep the well, not only because Ashley loves them, but the Uncrustables.
Oh yeah.
We keep a drawer full of those in our refrigerator. So, if Travis doesn't want to eat something hot, he could just get one of those.
And Bill's even gotten to where he doesn't even like bread anymore. I haven't bought a loaf of bread in quite a while because he said, I don't know, it's something about when it gets hot, especially at work. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like the bread. So now I take like 3 pieces of lunch meat and a piece of cheese and a little bit of spinach because we like spinach. And I roll it up and I close it together with a toothpick. So he gets 3 meat rolls, for lunch, and he's good with that. So, because sometimes in the wintertime he will take leftovers and heat them up, but mostly he doesn't like hot meals.
Yeah. It was so funny because when Travis would do that sometimes when it's wintertime, he would take something with him that he could heat up. And on his truck, he would carry around one of our old microwaves. So he said, he would get to the job, he would plug it in.
Seriously?
Yes. He would get, whatever job that they were on, plug it into the generator or whatever, and him and all of the guys that worked with him, they would heat their lunches up in that microwave. And it was so funny. And then one of the new guys, didn't realize that the microwave was what they used, and Travis had told him, go clean out the truck, and he threw it away. He threw the microwave away.
Why would you throw a microwave away? Even if you don't know that's what it is. What the?
Especially not without asking.
No kidding.
But yeah, he threw it away.
Well, there's some people that just can't be helped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they, all I can assume is that's one guy that has sniffed waterproofing one too many times.
And some of those chemicals can make
Puff,
you
puff,
high
pass.
as a kite. No lie.
He puffed and then didn't
Forgot
pass.
to pass. He passed
some more.
Passed right out. People I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say.
Yeah, Travis was pissed.
Oh.
And then it was kind of funny though, because then I got a new microwave in the house so that he could have the old microwave.
So
you're
saying I profited from someone else's misery.
We've done that before when Bill
Yeah.
had his own work trailer. The microwave in it, that's when he was taking leftovers. The microwave in it conked out. And he said, well, I'm taking the one from home. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do? He goes, go buy a new one. I said,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Sure, let me just do that.
I could do that.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
understand.
It's like, my sewing machine's messed up right now, and there's no one nearer.
Nearer. No one nearer.
There used to be one in Conyers, Old Town Conyers, that
Yes.
worked on, but there's not now. There's no one that works on sewing machines anymore. And I said, well, this one's about, I don't know, Ashley's 24, so
100
it's
years old.
about 20 years old.
Well,
Bill
it's just
says,
like there
what do
used
you
to be
want? That means you're wanting a new sewing machine?
And
I
if I
said,
remember correctly,
No,
the
not
sewing
at
machine
all.
repair place to the left-hand side had a shoe repair place, and both of those are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he used to do my boots, and he's vanished. There's nobody left. There's
didn't know
one
he
guy in
was.
Snailville near the Mellow Mushroom that does boots. He does my dad's boots, and he'll do my boots, and he'll do Red Wing boots, and he'll do all sorts of boots. But you have to want to drive to Snailville to do it.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
The boots I really, really like.
Oh,
Dress
yeah,
boots that I need new heels
He's been
on.
doing my dad's boots for 20 years. He redid my Red Wings the last time I got my Red Wings. Oh, and he redid my Justin's too, my Justin boots.
I got a pair of
I had the work ones.
I got a pair of boots that I need to get stretched a little bit.
And he'll put on whatever bottoms you want. Like you can literally say, I want the oil resistant, slip resistant, blah, 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 blah. And there you go. I mean, it's awesome.
Is there any way for us to?
And we do have people already watching on the YouTube. We are not hooked up
Yes.
on the chat over there, but we are live on the YouTube. I wish
I'm chatting on it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I wish I can control it better. The only good thing about YouTube versus Facebook Live, you can back up on the live feed and repeat something being said. Yeah, because I just got finished doing it, checking it. Because I was trying to hear the difference. I've slowly got the sound over there working better.
Yeah, because Alvin's saying that the mics are loud, so that's what I was wondering
On the
on the
YouTube.
YouTube.
Good. Is that good or bad?
Alvin, is that good or bad? Scotty's wanting to know, is that
loud?
good or bad? Is it too loud, or does he need to adjust it? And Alvin says that he found us and he can type on there. We honestly
why he
do
can't get
not
on the
know.
Facebook.
Yeah, we do not know what happened on the Facebook. You're not blocked. I promise you, you're not blocked by any of us. Scotty said he's turning it down to let him know how it sounds on YouTube, Alvin.
Yeah, we would not block you, Alvin.
Yeah, no.
Not yet, Scotty
Scotty
says.
said not yet. Which, as you see, we're laughing. It's a joke.
It's a joke. We still
wouldn't
like
do
you
that.
for now.
Now he's saying that it's bad static, and
Touched one of them wires again.
and Becky said it was Scotty who was loud. So Tina and I aren't loud. It's just Scotty.
Well, it's always
What-
Scotty.
Yeah, it's always Scotty. We can't help that. On YouTube. Oh, Scotty pushed the wrong button.
Yeah,
and
I
he
got
fixed it.
Facebook's doing fine.
Yeah,
For me, it is.
It is for me too. Now the picture quality on my phone is clear.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny is Stephanie watched me this morning. I took my old iPad camera setup and I had to go find an app that we used 4 years ago. That 4 years ago I knew. Well, I also forget things over 4 years, but also the app has updated. So that means it's completely new to me. I'm over there trying to figure out how to make it work. Like I didn't even know how to get the video and the sound to work because it's two different feeds going into one camera. So it is what it is. But hey, at least it's up. I don't think the colors look good over there, but y'all tell me.
They're bright.
They are bright, and I have to learn to turn the camera down, but I couldn't really do it right this second.
That's
like,
what I'm looking at right now.
I'm going to try to mess with it again. Keep going.
I
Y'all
was
talk.
like, what is
Yeah.
that? What is that up there in the corner? That's the app. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I see the chat, both of them. They're good.
Yeah. Alvin says, "Go back, Scotty. No sound." But he was saying that a minute ago. He was
Yeah,
he
he's
was
got it
picking
fixed.
at Scotty. Yeah, because he said it's good now. Becky says we're back on, and Alvin says sound yes.
Jason says, remember, guys, that the iOS 13 comes out on Thursday morning.
I don't
Oh,
have-
okay. That I didn't know. It set a date for it yet.
Yeah, I didn't think they did because I
That's-
thought they were still working the bugs out.
There's always bugs. There always is. There's always bugs when they come out with a brand new phone.
And Alvin
Yes.
says that your mic is still loud, Scotty.
He's not even on it.
Yeah,
It's just
I don't know.
Scotty.
we'll get it all figured out eventually.
I'm just now sitting back down, and I've cut my mic down. I did that a few minutes ago. So yeah, just new technology, and I really didn't want to mess with it. But while Stephanie and them were talking, I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can get it adjusted. But see, now I look dark, but I also have my screen turned down, so it is what it is. Listen, I just wanted to offer YouTube as an alternative to the Facebook because a lot of people say the YouTube, the sound's always better, the video's always
Yeah, but
better,
it doesn't freeze up.
doesn't
on
freeze
your
up as
on
much. It's
YouTube.
just I
And then
don't
it's-
get the clicks over there that I need, so it's easier to do both. Again, I'm willing to pay that company, and I think I'm going to.
Okay.
So what's happening, y'all? Anybody got any WTFs? Nobody called in with anything as a WTF from yesterday. So anybody has a WTF from yesterday, let's hear about it.
Alvin says it's a lag. What the audio is a lag or the video? Because on my end, the video is running fine,
Hey,
good and clear.
let's focus. We got to keep moving.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, because I can't fix it. I mean, it just kind of is what it
Can't
is at
fix
this
stupid.
point.
Oh.
You can't fix me. I'm talking about
Well,
I can't
no
fix the
kidding.
video.
We know we
Oh
can't
my
fix
Lord,
you.
shut up.
You are beyond help. Wanting pictures of
So
squish
Jeff says we
boobies.
sound a lot better on the YouTube. So here's what happened.
He says we're sounding better on Facebook than on YouTube.
We'll deal with it later.
Yes.
We got to keep going.
Got to keep going. So yesterday, Tina says, I got to go to the booby doctor tomorrow. I got to get my boob squeezed.
Yeah,
I
so I
said,
got to leave early Wednesday.
I said, I want pictures. I want to see it.
You're still going to see my boob. I mean, why do you want a picture of my squished boob?
And I looked at her. I said, what the hell's wrong with you? I said, who would want to see a picture of your squished boob? I wanted to see what this process
The
is.
mammogram.
I want to see the mammogram. I don't want to see your squished boob.
But he
I
didn't
said,
say
what
it
kind
that
of,
way.
I said, what kind of sadomasochistic bastard would I be to say I want to see a big up close picture of your boob getting tortured in a vice?
But he did
Yeah,
not
that
say
shit
about the
hurts.
mammogram. He just says, I want a picture.
But who would have automatically thought I wanted a picture of your boob in a vice?
That's how I took it.
Who would have thought that way?
Apparently she
I feel
did.
like wanting to see my testicle in a set of vice grips.
I would pay money to see that.
See, you're sick. You're sick. You see my point? You see,
If you only knew how bad that hurts
You
when they
see,
stretch it.
I had
this
no
is-
clue
You
that sucker
see,
could get
this
that
is where
flat.
her mind is. I wanted to see what the process was. I've never seen it. And y'all, some Holly, you a sick bitch too. Y'all want to see some squoze and testicles in a set of vice grips? Y'all some weirdos.
You talking about a 15-pound boob that they smush? No
Are you
bigger
trying to tell me
than
your boob
this.
weighs 15 pounds? Because you are full of shit. Just like Travis saying his wiener's 12 inches
Am
long.
I the one having the mammogram done?
No.
Tina is.
So you think Tina's boob?
So-
Put your hand on it. Tell me, does that weigh 15 pounds, Steph?
I'm not a scale.
I'm going to go get a scale. I'll be right back. Are you willing to do it?
We're going to weigh him.
I'll go.
I have to take the bra off so you can really put them on.
We'll do this next
Just
time.
tell us tomorrow after you, or
Tell us tomorrow.
Can you tell me?
Thursday because you're getting it done tomorrow,
Well,
right?
one weighs more than the other. I know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
they always say
Jesus.
one's bigger than the
My,
other.
almost a whole cup size.
Dang.
Yeah. Sucks.
Scotty, is one of your nuts bigger than the other?
You want to tell me? I'm wearing some cotton shorts. You can tell me. Here, tell me.
You wearing the man thong?
Here.
Don't you do it. No, ow. I'm going to punch you
Tell
in your
me.
taint.
Tell me.
No.
Tell me.
No.
Tell me. Tell me. Tell me.
No.
me.
No. No. I'm kidding.
The hell's wrong with you? You could have been my doctor and could have told me.
It saved him a trip to
The camera froze right at that moment. That is hilarious. We're not even gonna get to see it now. Damn it,
That was
man.
funny.
You
We're gonna
can see
have
it
to go
on
back- I have to
YouTube.
go back and watch it. That's
Sitting here
hilarious.
yesterday, and he's like, I want a picture. And I'm like, oh my God, Scotty, why would I send a picture of my boob getting squished to you? He's like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, you just said you wanted a picture. He goes, no, of the mammogram itself.
Yeah,
not
why?
the
Yeah,
boob."
why would I? Yeah, why would I want a picture? You know, like that's when I'm like, why am I asking you for a picture of a squozing booby? That I'm not.
But you know what? We don't ever,
No
at least
S&M looking
I never
crap.
get to see the mammograms.
Well, and
they
that's what
don't
I was
ever
asking.
show
Like
us.
I've seen X-rays. I've seen my MRIs of everything. I saw my MRIs of my nuts. You know, when I had that swollen nut. But I've never seen what a booby is
I've
looked
never
at.
seen
Like,
it.
what are they looking for? What does the color fat look like versus what a tumor looks like, or any of that stuff? I don't know.
And this,
I guess I can look it up.
the one that I had done this time, She said it was something new that they were doing, and it was a 3D one.
Really?
Yeah. And my insurance covered it. I didn't have to pay anything extra.
Wow. What?
Y'all had me laugh so hard I clicked on the ugliest wedding dress LOL.
Okay.
I am completely lost with that one.
But the only thing that I've ever seen was a few years ago, gosh, it's been probably 10 years ago, when I had a mammogram, they said that I had something that they wanted to get extra views of and do an ultrasound. Mm-hmm. So when they did the ultrasound, that's when I saw it. It's just a fibrous cyst. That
Yeah.
They just keep an eye on it.
Look, the good thing about
Measurements, make
YouTube, come here and
they get
look.
better.
Yeah,
They
I
just
had
backed
that
it
done.
up.
Watch. Here it goes. Here it goes. Watch. Watch. That's the good thing about YouTube. You can go backwards.
He's like,
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is some funny shit right
They're
there.
doing the baboon.
Oh my God. That's the good thing about YouTube. You can go backwards and then advance it back. So,
oh, that was funny. Yeah.
yeah, man.
I'll have to go see that.
Alvin says the volume is loud. My phone can't go. Well, we were kind of loud then.
turn
Well,
last
turn your
week.
volume down a little bit too.
Yeah, no kidding.
I have to find what the happy medium is for trying to get the volume into that. That is its own issue. So I got lots of little issues I'm having to go through here to try to make stuff work. I'll probably have to buy another iRig setup like what I have for this. But at this rate, I'm probably just going to go to paying that company to stream to both places because it just seems like the smarter thing to do.
And if you do that, then you will just be using one camera then,
Yeah,
right?
it'd be just one camera. Because right now, what y'all don't realize is you're looking at that one camera, but that one's right there. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Old reliable.
yeah. But the good thing is, it's always there to be used.
Yeah.
Dickerson's Automotive Shop permanently closed yesterday. I have no idea where that is.
I
Fill
thought
us
they
in.
were been closed.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
They're down there off of right there next to Hank and Jerry's.
To the left? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? I didn't know
I
that.
thought they'd been closed.
Yeah, I thought they'd been
They used to have
closed.
one down on 278 next to Wendy's.
I don't know.
In between Wendy's and Long John's. But that was a different place now. Yeah, I thought Dickerson's had been closed.
New
Well, guess
idea.
not.
I kept saying I wanted to look at getting that old Mexican restaurant to the left hand of Hank's, and then I found out that it was at one point in time that was the original Los Charros, and then I found out that people are saying that they watch rats coming in and out of the building, all that other stuff all the time in that parking lot. So I'm like, yeah, probably ain't gonna look at that building. Plus,
Yeah,
then
probably not.
it was right the other time. So it just is what it is.
Yeah, buddy.
So how are we doing? 9:31. I know we got to go to commercial. Everybody hang tight. When we come back, anybody that has any kind of story, call in, text in, type it on the chat, something. Let's have a great topic that you, the people, have chosen. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Redneck Step. Have you heard
That
about Unique
was
Funding?
crazy.
They're in the business to help people get out of those high-interest title ponds. It's sad how many people have been put in this position. I myself have fallen victim to this. If you currently have a title pond and you're not happy with your interest rate, then Unique is who you need. They are paying off high interest rate loans and rewriting theirs at a much lower interest rate. Everyone hates to see someone struggle financially, and losing your car or continue to pay out high interest rate, Unique Funding would like to help coach people financially and help them do better with their money. Once they pay off your loan and are able to rewrite it at a much lower interest rate, your loan will be paid off faster while keeping your payments the same. The staff would like to work with people and listen to their needs. Custom deals can be made to fit almost anyone's pay schedule. Be more than just unique and go see Unique Funding. Let them help you help yourself.
Hey everybody, it's DJ Scotty here, and I want to tell you about Raging Vapors. That's right, Raging Vapors is the place to be. If you want to get off that smoke train and you want to stop smelling like cigarettes, you want to live longer for your family, Raging Vapors is the place to go to. Let me tell you something, it's 2019. We do know it's stupid to continue to smoke, right? So get off the smoke train, go to Raging Vapors, 2 locations, Grayson and Loganville. They are more than happy and more than qualified to take care of all your needs, and they are the place to be. Hey everybody, DJ Scotty here. I want to talk to you about White Brothers Auto Parts Warehouse. I'm telling you, they take your auto experience to a whole nother level. You go in there, you make sure you see qualified people that know how to answer.
Here, during the show, if we had somebody zoom in and
On yours, make sure you check out White Brothers.
They are the best. See, that's right, LoganvilleInsurance.com. You can't beat prices until you check out the prices. Today's show is sponsored by the Brian Lincoln Agency.
This is a warning. Don't take anything we say too damn serious. Don't be a snowflake. Just remember, it's just for fun. And if you take any of this personally, then personally I suggest you find something else to do with your time.
May I have your attention, please? We're gonna have
live. We is back. I hope that works on the sound, Alvin. I did cut down the input volume some.
Yeah, so let's
What's going
know.
on? Anybody got anything? I mean, like, if there's anything new, let us know. Nobody really, other than I guess my WTF is Jeff Mathias's WTF. You know, I get the message from his wife going, Jeff didn't want me to text you to tell you he was in the hospital and he was having chest pains, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? So I sent him listen here, mother trucker. Next time you better tell me.
Yeah, he's like, might as well go and put this on out there. Everybody's going to know it anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
Yeah, man. Tina says, I'm back. So what's happening? Anybody with any WTFs, man? Come on, let us know what you're dealing with, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because I don't, nothing really interesting happened yesterday except for, I don't know, what you and I talked about after you had your meeting. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks for throwing that out there. You know, I mean, there was no reason to tell anybody I had a meeting, but good job. Good job.
You said earlier that you had a meeting
Yeah,
with
but people
a
didn't
possible
necessarily.
sponsor.
Okay.
That's all I'm talking about. Is we might be picking up a sponsor,
Okay.
just like you said.
Yeah, because that's what we do. We
Jeez.
pick up sponsors
Exactly.
and homeless chicks. Stephanie's been here for a while now, though, so we keep them around too.
Fuqua said, "How about the homeowner that shot back?"
You are so far
late.
behind. We talked about that
You are
first thing this
so
morning,
late.
dude.
Yeah, we
How
spent
about
like
today?
the first
Crash
hour.
another drone.
Tina goes, weather update, Middle Georgia of hell, 101 today. They said today, so my wife says, this is 2 days ago, I labeled today yard day. I'm like, okay. So yesterday,
Yeah.
hold on. So yesterday she goes out and starts trimming the hedges. I'm fixing some power to the RV. Said today I was going to dig a hole and fix the triplex. It's actually quadplex that got ripped. I don't know if you know what quadplex is. I figured you would. Point is, now they're saying today's going to be the hottest day of the effing year.
Yeah,
Me and my wife are either going to come down here and watch a movie or go to the movies.
yeah. My father-in-law was going to come over and do some yard work because
Not
he needed
today.
to escape, and that's
Nope.
what Travis
Wait,
said.
no. Wait, pause. He was going to try to escape hell, and if he goes outside, he's going to stay in hell.
Yeah, exactly.
You're leaving one iron pan for another iron pan.
Yeah, 'cause
Stay where you're at. At least it's cool in that type of hell. They're serving ice where you're at. Yeah, man. I'm just saying. The guy that lived here just so happened to drive a green, chicken coop wire fence stake right into some wire and skin it or something.
Oh no!
I don't know if he busted it or skinned it, but the breaker will not stay on. So I'm going to have to. My luck, he drove it and it bottomed out, and he just kept tapping it till he broke all of it, for all I know. But I'm going to have to dig it up.
Oh, Tina says that she lives on Lake Sinclair. Water is hot too.
No doubt.
Ew.
I bet
pool is
all them
feeling
fish
awesome
are going
right
low.
now.
I bet my pool is too. We may make it a pool
Pool
day.
was really good Sunday. That's why
Beer
I got a
and
little
pool.
dark because I laid out there a little too long because it was comfy.
Oh yeah.
This Florida couple, this cracks me up. This is the headline: Florida man and woman have sex in the back of the police car after being arrested for DUI.
Oh my
So
Lord.
they're both on motorcycles. They're riding,
Good,
swerving, no lights on. That's
Glad it
why
worked out for him.
clipped a little car. That's why the cops, pulled him over.
So I guess they're part of
Both bloodshot and whatever. And he put him in the back of the patrol car. I don't know why they weren't handcuffed or
have a kind of a kindred spirit, special needs mom that I know that's going, well, not special needs, I wouldn't say special needs, sorry. Her son is about to have open heart surgery next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday. Hi, Meredith.
Hi, Meredith.
And he is the sweetest, most full of energy little boy. I got to see him yesterday.
Sweet.
And he's got these cute little Superman pictures that he just had made, and they're so cute. I hope I don't cry because I'm so emotional. But he was born, I think, with a hole in his heart. And so I think they were just kind of letting it go to see what happened, and now it's time to get it fixed. I think I'm saying that right. But so he's going to have open heart surgery, not this Friday, but next Friday, and we are doing a candle campaign. They have a little tagline for him. It's Brave Heart, and it's Brave, HRT, because those are his initials. And we have a candle that we are making, Rustic Peach is making, and we are selling them. We're selling them from my Facebook page and then my cousin Tara Womack. But you can friend me, you can get on my page, whatever, and we can set up delivery. But they're also T-shirts from Rush Tees. We have a caller.
We do.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for calling in. Just hold on one second. I'm going to let Christina was just in the middle of just saying something beautiful. I just want to let her finish really quick, and then we're going to start our interview, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
But anyway, we're going to have candles and T-shirts for Harrison and his family. You can get them at Rush Tees, and you'll just ask for the Brave Heart shirts. But they are so, so cute. I wish I could show y'all everything, but I did not prepare correctly. Just get on my page and you'll see all this
Just
stuff.
check out Christina's page, and she has the shirts on there, the candles. They're awesome. They look really good.
The candles are sweet tea and sunshine scented, and it's ridiculous how good they smell. But Harrison and his mom actually chose that scent because it was the best. It was the only one he liked, really. And also, his middle name is Ray, and so it's always been her little ray of sunshine. So we're wanting everyone to burn these candles at on the day and at the time of his surgery, which I'll be updating all of that on my page.
We'll keep everybody updated
so that we can lift them up in prayer. So just keep that family in your prayers. They're special, special people, and we're all going through something, and people need people.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, thank you, Christine. Yes, and much love to Meredith and Harrison and the family. And we're rooting for you and keep praying. So, and also we'll be putting. Is there a link that we can send? Is there a link to buy the candle?
It's just kind
page?
of organic, so
Okay.
it's just my PayPal, and
Okay.
so we're just
Perfect.
gonna get her the proceeds when it's all is said and done.
All right, so y'all can click on Christina's name in the comments.
Yes, they're $20, but they smell amazing and they burn
Amazing.
forever. And
Worth
they're
it.
organic.
Worth it.
Rustic Peach, another quick shout out. She does everything she makes is all natural, and she makes a ton of different stuff. So go
Beautiful.
check them out on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Sorry about that, Heather.
Oh, that's okay. They sound amazing, these candles.
Yes,
they are. Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I love candles. I constantly burn them in my house for Serenity, so I'll have to check them out.
Right. Serenity now.
Yes. She's got a white currant scent that she just made with my nonprofit logo on it, and that sounds like something you would want. I mean, it's like
Serenity.
Everything is at peace.
Really?
Great.
Wow.
Yeah. Love it.
Well, I know for me in sobriety, it's all about discovering your five senses again.
Yes,
You've been,
absolutely.
So scent is so important.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I'm a big proponent of aromatherapy.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
I'm just a big proponent of going into my house, and if it doesn't smell good when I walk in, I'm immediately in a bad mood.
Right. I know. Like, great. Now I have to clean the whole
what's
house.
happening? Like, it's gross in here. I'm disgusting.
So, Heather,
I would agree.
I've been looking at your blog. It's absolutely amazing. I love the work that you're doing over at Recovery Warrior. Great name.
Yes.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Warrior.
Thank you.
Because I think that's so true. You know, when you are in recovery, it can be a daily battle, and not just recovery from substance abuse, but mental health. You know, we're fighting our biggest enemy, which is our thoughts and our feelings, and you know, sometimes that can be daunting to say the least. So,
Well, I often say that addiction is the disease of the feelings.
oh, beautiful.
And I heard that once in treatment, and I thought, wow, that's so true. Because I feel like people who struggle with addiction, for some reason, they're trying to escape their feelings oftentimes, or they're
Yes.
trying to magnify their feelings and feeling extra happy. And ultimately, they end up feeling, you know, extra sad.
Yes.
And it's just a balance of emotions. And so that's kind of where, you know, I've discovered with recovery, with the cool part is that you can learn how to balance all those emotions and feel a consistency of joy and serenity if you have coping skills.
Right.
So it's been working.
Beautiful.
I'm just
I
looking
love
at
when
your
things-
page, and
yes.
you are gorgeous.
She is so beautiful. Y'all have to just.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you.
really pretty. I'm not
So
now. I'm
beautiful.
just gonna say. I hope you're married because now I just sent every man in the world.
Please like
Well,
recovery warrior.
that's the thing about recovery as well. It's, you know, it's a lot of self-discovery.
Yes,
And at one
girl.
point, I always felt as though I needed a crutch of another person.
Right.
And I also realized if you're not well in yourself, a lot of times you're taking that other person as a hostage, and they become sick, and you're sick, and it just is spreading sickness back and forth between each other.
Absolutely.
So
So
toxic.
it's so important to feel good in yourself and healthy in yourself, which is what I've been working on for me personally. And I'm very much faith-based because I've turned all my fear into faith. So
Beautiful.
I'm very much a believer that God presents the right person when you are in the right, you know, spiritual condition.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Beautiful.
I love it.
That's fantastic. Yes.
so
Definitely in
funny.
the right spiritual position.
We've been
Right.
talking about that
Yes.
today.
Oh, okay. Well, so we're just kind of continuing on with topic.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
So we do. I am going to ask the question we always ask. But you know, what brought you into recovery?
Well, basically, when I started drinking at age 15, I was instantly a binge drinker. And I really was a professional puker at that time, which is why my nickname in high school was Upchuck.
Oh.
So I always drank to excess. And I believe when I look back at that, you know, why was I drinking like that from such a young age? I really feel as though, you know, for me, I struggled with some anxiety and depression as a young person, never feeling quite comfortable in my own skin. And, you know, I always kind of struggled with the glass half full or half empty, perspective. So once I put alcohol into my body, the liquid courage, I instantly felt the effects of just feeling happier, more courageous, and which I now know in recovery is all sort of just a mirage. It
Right.
appears to feel that way, but ultimately it's lying to us. And,
Right.
you know, a lot of times it's really sucking out the courage and our self-esteem and all the things that we think it's actually doing. So that's why I started drinking a lot, because I felt in my mind more comfortable. And then I started drinking pretty much daily in college. And the irony of that was that I majored in speech language pathology. So I was trying to help others articulate and speak better and enunciate when I, in fact, was a slur when I was drinking and had a hard time speaking. I was one of those people that was really obviously drunk. Some people can kind of mask that better, but I was a slur, and, you know, at the time it seemed funny, and I always thought that I was hilarious with my drunk charisma. But, you know, ultimately, as it ends up for so many, it's very much a sad situation, because alcohol ultimately is a depressant. And I didn't know anything about that at the time, that, you know, I was ultimately putting this depressant into my body and making myself feel more sad and anxious, thinking that it was making me feel happier and, you know, less anxious. So I ended up marrying somebody who went to West Point and was a work hard, play hard type like I was. And so we had a lot of fun together. We ended up having three boys who are now, for me, they're 10, 14, and 15. And so we kind of had a lot of common interests with drinking and socializing and entertaining. And we had a lot of people over. We lived out in the middle of nowhere in Killingworth, Connecticut. And I did a lot of entertaining, and I used to love my fun glasses of making Cosmos with the perfect proportions of fresh lime juice and cranberry juice and vodka. And, you know, and that's the interesting part, because eventually I crossed this invisible line where I was drinking the dusty bottles in the back of the liquor cabinet that nobody wanted to drink, that we had moved from house to house for 10 years. And I'm drinking, you know, out of the bottles straight.
Right.
Whereas I used to really care about the actual taste of the alcohol or the cocktail I was making. I ended up just drinking for effect. And I really think that started for me when I was prescribed in 2009 benzodiazepines, because I was going through marital problems, which is no surprise that alcohol eventually creates issues in relationships. So
you don't say.
No.
So I got a script of Klonopin for sleep, which I knew nothing about those pills. I'd never taken any pills in my life. And, you know, I now describe them to people as basically alcohol in a pill, because
absolutely.
In the morning when, you know, I would often drink a Bloody Mary, you know, thinking that was fun with friends or whatever, noticing I would feel better having a drink the next day. I started discovering that with my hangovers that I'd feel better taking one of my Klonopin pills.
Yep.
Which ultimately, they're really the same, they affect the same part of your brain in terms of enhancing dopamine. And so the combination in 2009 of the benzos and the alcohol really skyrocketed my addiction into a place where I had no idea you could suffer withdrawals from not taking the benzos. And I had gone on a anniversary trip, 10-year anniversary trip with my ex-husband to Cape Cod, and I'd forgotten the pills. And I ended up having, in 2011, I had a seizure because I'd forgotten the pills, and I went through a withdrawal not knowing that was going to happen. And that was the start of having panic attacks and hiding alcohol just so I felt like I could relieve the panic. And I was an avid tennis player. I started realizing that if I exercised really hard, because I used to play singles, that it would, all of a sudden I would feel the panic coming on from exercise. And I used to run off the tennis court, you know, to the emergency room, the walk-in clinic, having a panic attack. So my whole body just became completely, you know, deranged with chemicals in my brain that I suffered from such bad anxiety and panic, which was all self-induced from the benzodiazepines and alcohol. Because today, in recovery, which my sobriety date is May 13th of 2017, this time around, I have none of those symptoms, you know, and that's where I try to share that the very things that are prescribed to quell anxiety and to, you know, that we do after work to deal with a stressful day, to deal with our children drinking wine and whatever, oftentimes actually create a lot of our anxiety, because as we're withdrawing off of the pills or the alcohol or whatever, that's when a lot of people have really bad anxiety, and that's the vicious cycle, because you just start discovering that if you just start taking some more pills or drinking more alcohol, that you start feeling better again.
Yeah.
So basically that was the start of the insanity for me, because in end of 2011, I wasn't, you know, my ex-husband, we were married at the time, but he took the alcohol from me. He started distributing my benzodiazepine pills. And, you know, and this is the other thing about addiction. It basically is a tidal wave effect where it just encompasses everybody in the wave. All of our family and friends, they get spun around, scraped up, wounded and spit back out. So everybody is hurt.
Everyone.
And that was the reality for my ex-husband. And I feel for him looking back because he had no idea what to do. And oftentimes our family and friends want to control the situation, which usually doesn't work out well because we're very rebellious.
Yes.
But, you know, I started doing all kinds of insane things, of hiding alcohol behind vodka bottles, behind trees in my rural neighborhood. You know, I had 3 kids at the time, and this was just such insane behavior for a mother. But I felt as though if I didn't have the alcohol to have, like, in my morning coffee or just to start my day to deal with the withdrawals, that I truly couldn't function. I was going to have a panic attack. So I would drive by a tree, couldn't find which tree, they all looked the same, and I would stop my car and a lot of times just like look behind a bunch of trees, eventually finding the bottle and just having like a couple swigs and hopping back in my car and driving. And that's the kind of desperation that the disease of addiction creates.
Right.
You know, so eventually I ended up, you know, going to detox early 2012, my first detox. My family had no idea about addiction or what to do with me. And they were often, you know, like, you're a mother.
Right.
How could you do this to your kids?
Right.
And, you know, that's the thing that I think is hard for family and friends. It's not about the kids, and it's certainly very a shaming disease because you know that your kids are the most meaningful things to you in your whole life, the best gifts ever. But you're so sick with addiction that they become, you know, at the bottom of the priority list. It's all about survival and feeling better and being able to cope. So, you know, I ended up going to a 30-day program. To fast forward, you know, I wasn't ready to surrender. I was forced to kind of go there. And I got home and my ex-husband was like, all right, well, let's try to figure out how you can stay sober. I'll have some Miller Lite, like in our bar fridge, and you can have your O'Doul's. Right. And because a lot of people just don't understand even that non-alcoholic beer is probably not a good idea for somebody who's trying to stay sober.
Well, because we all drink for the taste, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly.
No.
So I became very sneaky, and I was pouring his, you know, Miller Lite into my O'Doul's and my O'Doul's into his Miller Lite and giving it to him, watching him drink my O'Doul's out of his Miller Lite bottle and my, you know, just this insanity. You know, and it ended up that for 4 weeks after that 30-day program, I was secretly drinking again. And, you know, I was at an Easter egg hunt for my family. And I had been hiding that I was in a relapse, and I brought my vodka and hid it behind the toilet in my sister's bathroom. And my brother-in-law gets the Frosty mug out of the refrigerator for, you know, because everyone's celebrating on Easter having drinks, and I'm supposed to be sober. Gets the Frosty mug out for my O'Doul's. And I just kept running into the bathroom pouring vodka into my O'Doul's, which is so disgusting for somebody who loved like a good martini. But I could have cared less about the taste.
Right.
It was like all about effect. And so people started noticing, like, why does she keep going in there with her mug of O'Doul's?
Right. I used to tell people I had like IBS.
Which we'll talk about later. We'll talk about that later.
I don't. Okay.
So they ended up discovering the vodka behind the toilet. And I was so mortified because I ruined Easter, and just like a lot of events are ruined with people who really are struggling.
Of course.
You know, it's very sad because so many family events just end up turning into tragedies. And the next day, you know, my ex-husband had it. He was like, I don't know what to do with you. And, you know, I basically that day decided, you know what, I don't even want to live. Like I'm so full of shame. I have such a lack of hope. And I took my golden retriever. I walked up my driveway in this rural Killingworth, Connecticut area. And I knew I had one of those vodka bottles hidden somewhere that I was mentioning that I used to hide everywhere. And I went and found it. I was so happy just because I was thirsty because I was so dehydrated from the day before. And, you know, just I wanted to feel nothing. I wanted to block out the sadness and the and just the disaster that I had been creating for everybody. So I went and I walked as far as I could into the state forest with my vodka, sat on a boulder with my golden retriever, and there was like an opening with the sun shining down on this boulder, and I'm thinking, oh, this is perfect. I can sit here, no one's going to bother me, and drink my vodka. And I drank the whole bottle, and I started freaking out because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that can't be good, that I just downed that like a Gatorade. And luckily I had my cell phone because I passed out and had alcohol poisoning, and my ex-husband was able to find me with search and rescue through the pinging of my cell phone in the woods. But, if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be here today. And there's so many God shots that happen, that I look back on, of basically trying to be guided into a better life, but I just couldn't really see it at the time. So I'm so grateful that I survived some of these things. But, basically that led me to another treatment center for 7 weeks. I came home, my ex-husband divorced me. He's like, you know what? I did not sign up for this. And ultimately that was one of the hardest things to swallow, was to, realize like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to try and figure out how to stay sober, go through this divorce. Now we're going through a custody battle. How am I going to do this? And, I ended up drinking again. That's the insanity. Yeah. But, that led me to a real bottom where I finally decided to wave my white flag and get sober for 2 years. I got custody back of my boys. I got divorced. Everything was starting to come back. But the problem was that I really didn't do the things I needed to do in those 2 years. I didn't get a sponsor, just went to AA meetings. I'm a really big AA advocate, Alcoholics Anonymous. I just really was just kind of staying on the exterior of the group.
Right.
And I met someone in AA that didn't have good sobriety, and he ended up relapsing, and I tried to save him and brought him to detox. And after 2 years, he handed me his beer, which was in a water bottle at the hospital, or at the detox where I had brought him, because he would have seizures. A lot of people don't know that it's very dangerous to detox off alcohol.
Very.
So he was drinking the whole way to the hospital, and I dropped him off, and it was 1 a.m. and I was exhausted. They have this saying in AA called HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And I was HALT that night, and he handed me the water bottle of beer, and I went to dump it out after 2 years of sobriety in the bathroom. And I don't even know what came over me, but I looked at myself in the mirror, and I ended up drinking it. And that was a lesson. I really believe that anything like this that happens, that, it's kind of a negative or tragic situation, ends up always with a point. Like there's always a lesson to be learned. And in this situation, it was, for me, that I wasn't really putting my sobriety first. I was trying to help somebody without somebody else there as an alcoholic. So I was alone in a dangerous, precarious situation.
Right.
And I wasn't in a good spiritual condition, or physical or mental. I mean, I was exhausted. I was basically unguarded. And they say that this is like a very cunning, baffling, powerful disease. So it wasn't a surprise, but it basically was a 3-year relapse of 2 more DUIs. Wow. All the things they say that happen when you go back out drinking. I mean, just more self-destruction, and really the turning point for me in getting where I am today and starting this recovery blog was because I couldn't get sober in May of 2017. I get 3 weeks here, and I was hiding it from my ex-husband. I was so worried he was going to take custody of my boys. Right. My ex-husband got remarried and had another baby. This beautiful woman who was a doctor, and I couldn't stop drinking, and I was living a lie and felt a lot of shame. And this one particular day on May 7th of 2017, I was trying to stay sober, but I had 3 weeks of sobriety, and I went to the gym. I had a sponsor. It wasn't really a great sponsor. I got somebody who didn't really necessarily, she wasn't strict about recovery.
Right.
But I had gone to the gym, and I decided I'm going to go to church, and I'm going to try and just pray and get some relief, because I was so full of just this sadness. And as I'm walking into church, I see my ex-husband walking in with his new wife, their new baby, my 3 boys, and they're all dressed up, and